Hi everyone, Engineer Liu here. So on this part of the tutorial of our series on C programming language, I would like to talk about conditional statements. In this case, if statements, if else statements, and how to evaluate and see conditional operators and the various types of conditional operators in C. Okay, so in our last video we finish it with example 5, so let's create another example following at this point standard procedure. So let's start with our boilerplate code. Include standard io.h int main void and curly brackets return 0 semicolon. Okay. So I would like to introduce on this video a function called scan function, which is used for user input in C. So let's query the user, ask the user to enter a number, type enter a number. Okay, so it would print on the screen asking the user to enter a number, and then we store this number in a variable called new. Okay, so we use a function called scanf, and we read a integer, and then we store this integer in new. Okay, before we continue, let's just print the number. You enter the number, and then %d and no. Okay, before I continue, I must emphasize and warn you to not use this function here, scanf, in a real software, in a real production environment, because this function has all sorts of security issues. You can see that we aren't checking for the size of the user input, so also we can implement this check as well, but we are not checking if the user is entering a string or a character, or I don't know, some floating point number. So this of course, this implementation here has a series of issues also. Let's say if we query the user to enter a string of a certain size, then we need to check for risk of buffer overflows, stack overflows, and so on. But as this is a simple example to illustrate how to handle user input in C, we'll just ignore that, and we run this only in our computer. So to summarize, don't use this function here in production. Okay, so we ask the user to enter a number, we read this number here, and then print the number the user just entered. So write and quit GCC example. Let's use the warning flag. Remember, for last video, this will make the compiler prints all sorts of warnings. Example 6.c -o, example 6.0. So no warnings, and then we execute it and enter a number. Let's say 7. You enter the number 7. Let's enter a number, I don't know, 42. Enter the number 42. Enter a number, I don't know, 69, and then 69. Okay, so it appears that the program, the simple program is working properly. And now let's check. Let's implement some checks for this number. Okay, so for this we use a so-called conditional statement or if statement, which is a keyword in C, as you can see here. Okay, if it's in yellow or green, then it's a keyword reserved word in C. So let's check if this number is greater than 10. For example, if num, here we open parentheses and we type what condition we are checking. If this number is greater than 10, which means this will return true or false results. Okay, so it acts sort of like an argument to a function. So if num is greater than 10, then we can do stuff. Here we open curly brackets, so we are within the scope of this if statement here. And as we are entering a different scope, we usually, for better formatting, we use tab. So let's print the number you enter is greater than 10, exclamation mark. Okay, and else another curly brackets, so we are within the scope of else. We print the number you entered is less or equal to 10. Okay, so we'll check if the number is greater than 10, and else we print a message saying it is less or equal to 10. Okay, so compile and run. Let's enter, I don't know, 8. You enter the number 8. The number you enter is less or equal to 10, so let's enter 12. The number you enter is greater than 10. It's expected. We managed to enter the if condition. So let's enter 10. The number you enter is less or equal to 10. So let's change this condition a little bit. Let's say equal greater or equal to 10. Is less than 10. Okay, so check if it is greater or equal to 10. So as you can see here in C, this operator doesn't exist. If we want to check for greater or equal, we have to use this order here. Okay, greater, equal, then it works. Let's say 8. The number you enter is less than 10. 10. The number you enter is greater or equal to 10, and then I don't know, 13 is greater or equal to 10. Okay. We can check if it is equal to 10, like using this operator. The number you entered is equal to 10. The number you entered is different than 10. And we compile and we run. Different different, and voila, equal to 10. So we can check if it is less than, and we use like this, is less or equal to, is greater than, the number of enters less or equal to 10, and then okay, so these are the main operators. We have equal, less than or equal, and greater or equal, greater than, and less than. Also we have different, like exclamation mark and then equal sign. The number you enter is different than 10. The number you entered is equal to 10. We have so different than. Also we have some we have and operator, so and or operator, and which we'll see in a minute, and the not operator. Okay, so let's check this one here. We compile and then we run. The number of enter is equal to 10. Is different than 10. We can implement nested if-else statements, or we can check if it's different than 10, and we can insert another if statement right here, or we can check for example it's greater than 10, and let's check if num is different than, I don't know, 12. Okay, so as you might notice, we have to use parentheses twice here for this statement, and then for this statement, and then for the AND statement. So this will check if the number is greater than 10 and if the number is different than 12. Okay, the number you entered is greater than 10 and different than 12. Okay, the number you entered is less than 10 and is less than 10. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, so we compile, run. I don't know. It's less than 10. Greater or equal. Whoops. 13 is greater than 10 and different than 12. So let's enter 12. So it doesn't enter condition. So let's just correct this. Is less than 10 or is equal to 12. Is greater than 10 and different than 12. Actually, it's greater or equal to 10. Now it's working properly, okay? Right? So basically these are the main operators, conditional operators in C. So let's test another, let's make another test here. Let me erase this over here. So in C we can use various if statements one after the others in a way that I will show you right here. So let's make another example here. If num equals to 1, then printf num is equal to 1, and then we can use else if num is equal to 2, then we print num is equal to 2, and then we can use else if again like this, num equals to 3, and then print num is equal to 3, and then else print num is neither 3, 2, or 1. Okay, like this. Write and quit, GCC, example 6, enter a number, I don't know, 7. Enter num 7, num is neither 3, 2, or 1. Let's enter 1, num is equal to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so it's working properly. You can see how this can get really cumbersome if you have many else if statements. So in C we have another conditional statement which is called switch keyword. We shall see in a future video. For now I will be finishing the video right here. Hope you guys enjoy. Leave your comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.